Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric. This is Melinda. You're watching E&M Guns. Today we're going to be talking about the presidential race. Stay tuned. Kamala Harris is touting in her speeches about banning AR-15s.
Against former President Trump and what she called his extreme allies.
We want to ban assault weapons, and they want to ban books. While you try to create safe and welcoming places where our children can learn, extremists attack our freedom to live safe from gun violence.
Take action on gun violence as president, using executive orders to mandate universal background checks and revoke the licenses of gun manufacturers who break the law.
So I am also prepared, and I'm announcing it for the first time today here with you, to take executive action to ban the import of assault weapons into our country.
Harris says about
Guys, she thinks that the government's going to do a buyback program, not just ban, but she wants to do a buyback.
That's like $20 million or something, billion or...
There's 20 million AR-15s out there. And even if you do the typical buyback of $200, that's $4 billion. I don't know about you. I don't want to waste my tax money on that. I really don't.
I don't either.
I'm tired of being taxed. And this Biden-Harris administration getting defeated in the U.S. Supreme Court, getting defeated in district courts, they're getting defeated. And who do you think's paying? Where is that budget? Where is that money coming from?
From you and I.
To defeat them.
You and I.
Well, it's taxpayer dollars.
Exactly.
So even if you didn't vote for Donald Trump or you don't like Donald Trump, your taxpayer dollars are still being spent on Biden-Harris infringing on the Second Amendment, not following the law, and costing the taxpayers money. You know, you had the bump stock. That was Donald Trump. Then you had the pistol braces, defeated. Then you had framed receivers, defeated. All these infringements that they think is common sense spending your money.
I don't want her spending my money like that.
There's tax dollars that can be spent on affordable housing. I mean, I could think of all kinds of other things that our tax dollars can be spent on.
I could too.
Other than infringing on and getting defeated in court.
Exactly.
So, guys, if you don't believe me that she is going to be worse than Joe Biden, she's got all kinds of stuff out she did in 2019 when she was running, and I'll play a lot of those for you. And I'll play some more clips that you can see where Kamala Harris stands on gun control. And why I'm on the subject. I'll show you a couple videos. Washington Gun Law did a very, very good video breaking down, the buyback and disarmament of the citizens.
1929, the Soviet Union. Hey, believe it or not, an arms ban was not originally part of the Bolshevik Revolution. No. That was the idea of Joseph Stalin, who was once quoted as saying, "If the opposition disarms, well and good. If it refuses to disarm, we shall disarm it ourselves." Which is exactly the way that he then ran his country, and he did more than just disarm a lot of people. Yeah, he unalived them. The estimates are in the millions as to how many people were killed during the Soviet Union purges. And of course, Joseph Stalin was also quoted as saying, "If Americans fight against gun confiscation, feds can nuke them." Now, I'm sorry, that wasn't Joseph Stalin. That was California Representative Eric Swalwell. Century history or ongoing events, which of course comes from our good friends to the north, Canada. You see, the emperor up there, Justin Trudeau, actually announced an assault weapon ban all the way back on May 1st of 2020, and also said that those weapons would all be subject to mandatory Canadian buyback. We are now more than 1,600 days since the announcement of that policy, and Canada has not rounded up a single firearm yet. Not a single firearm has been surrendered to the Canadian government under this announcement that is now more than 4 years old. Why is that? Because Canada's a bunch of wussies? Well, there's a little bit of truth to that. But yeah, apparently the federal government and the Prime Minister Trudeau did not realize that all of these assault weapons have all sorts of components. And all of these components, which of course can be detached, they all have monetary value as well. So even though Prime Minister Trudeau actually told the Canadian people that this program would only cost somewhere between 400 and 600 million, current estimates are actually, and these are government estimates, are going to cost the Canadian government $2 billion. But economists up there are actually saying, no, it's more in the neighborhood of about $6 billion to do this mandatory buyback. Now, if it's going to cost $6 billion to buy back all of the assault weapons in Canada, how much is it going to cost to buy back all of them in the United States of America? Okay.
You know, Kamala's comparing, and so the Democrats comparing Donald Trump to being like Hitler. Well, we're gonna basically say that Kamala Harris is being like Stalin. I mean, if we want to talk about communist regimes, you got Kamala Harris, who is trying to do the same thing that Stalin did to his people.
I think our world will go that kaput if she gets in office.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, she's been in office for 4 years as a vice president, but NBC came out with an article that some of the congressional have known that President Biden has not been on his game for 2.5 years. So who has been running the country for 2.5 years? My guess is Kamala's got some input into that.
That's why it's the way it is.
And of course, there's a guy that has predicted the last 10. I will cut a clip to him. He has predicted the last 10 presidents. Right now, Kamala's got like 7 of the 8 predictors that he says at work. One, he says economy. He goes, well, I don't see us in recession. Well, Stellantis just laid off 2,500.
Professor Lichtman has been dubbed as the Nostradamus of presidential elections, but his 90% success rate is difficult to ignore.
Alan Lichtman, Professor Alan Lichtman, he has this system for predicting presidential elections. It's a 13-point system. It's a qualitative system.
And since 1984, every single time he's got it right.
This man has correctly predicted 9 of the last 10 elections using his own model of 13 criteria.
Okay, you came out with this prediction model for elections. 13 keys that could tell us who's going to win. You got it right every time except 2000. Why'd you fuck up that year?
I didn't.
Oh, I'm kidding.
Florida did.
To the looming layoffs as Stellantis and thousands of jobs are on the line. Stellantis saying they plan to lay off roughly 2,450 workers at the Warren Truck Assembly. That plant currently builds an older version of the Ram 1500 pickup, but that production is moving to their Sterling Heights plant, causing a shift to be eliminated at Warren. 7 News reporter Tara Braddock talking with auto workers who've been with Stellantis for many, many years, sharing advice that they have for younger auto workers.
Classic Dodge truck manufacturers. So those people that were in classic Dodge truck manufacturing are now, 2,500 of them are now laid off.
I see it coming.
If you look at the housing market, which is our biggest part of our economy, the sales have slumped. I mean, they're going down, down, down. So cars have gone down first. Housing is kind of on that teeter-totter of going down.
Food is out. Huh.
You know, our inflation has caused, gas, food, all that to be
extremely high.
Extremely high.
I just went and spent some. I didn't even give maybe 4 bags, and I spent $60-some.
It's not Donald Trump's a dictator. Kamala Harris is a Stalin, a communist dictator. It's what's going to be best for our country. I will never tell you how to vote, but I can tell you after 4 years of Joe Biden and his policies, they put countless FFLs. I put one on my Facebook group. The only gun store within 100 miles, I think, in Northern California
that went out of business.
They just couldn't, it's not just Harris Biden that had put them out of business. You've got Gavin Newsom putting in laws that have also put them out of business. Guys, come November, it is going to be important. Even if you're not a 2A fan, you think common sense gun control works, come November, you need to start thinking with your pocketbook. Taxes go up because government spends money frivolously.
Yeah.
And when you don't abide by your own laws of your country and you start getting challenged in court, which my inbox for GOA, National Firearms Association, National Association of Gun Rights, all those are always asking for money because they're always going to court fighting this for us. We need to vote on a president and give these gun groups a break.
Even if you can't get out to vote, do it online.
Well, we registered to vote, and I got to be honest, I really haven't paid that much attention to presidential votes. Lived in Oregon, lived in Idaho, your vote's pretty much done. The race is already decided.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to get out to vote because it's important. You can't bitch about who's in president if you haven't voted.
Exactly, and I don't
So this time, guys, forget the mainstream media. Forget all the propaganda that's been given to you. Start researching yourself and look at the facts.
Exactly.
How much money do you think Joe Biden has cost the American taxpayer by infringing on this Second Amendment? Unless Congress plans on writing a new Second Amendment, this one that Congress is up, or the Supreme Court has upheld, that Americans have the right to own guns. So, guys, enjoy the video. We appreciate you. We love you, and peace out.